First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you could never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next. You found us at postwrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever podcast app you're using right now. And of course,
we are live on youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Yes. Hello, all the postmarks worldwide. And more importantly, Tuesday nights. Hello to the NXT friends.
Friends.
We got an in-betweeners shout out.
I know it. Will Saquon Sugars get that reference? I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, exactly. Friends, we'll talk about it. Welcome to Up Next. We are Braden and Davie, also known as the Poisonrana podcast. But on Tuesday nights here at postwrestling.com, we are Up Next. And we talk about NXT. We're going to talk about NXT, a whole new era. You know, it's something Triple H throws around a lot, but it feels like it in NXT. It's throw the new people into the swimming pool and see if they can swim. And that's sometimes can make for some good TV. And you know what? Tonight had some pretty good wrestling on the show tonight.
Yeah, I would say since the mass exodus, if you will, I think they've had a pretty good run of it recently. I think there's been some pretty entertaining, consistent NXT recently. Some interesting new characters, some good wrestling, a bit of clear direction. I've been quite enjoying it.
Absolutely. It's a little bit of a breath of fresh air for this show. The whole point of NXT being developmental obviously means you want them to eventually go to Raw and SmackDown and WrestleMania and all that stuff. And we've seen over the past little while of the 2.0 and onward, has been pretty somewhat successful. I'd say especially in the last year with some of the people coming from NXT onto WWE's main roster and just catching fire. I mean, right off the bat, you have Obafemi, you got Trick Williams, you now have the new debuting Ethan Page and Ricky Saints on SmackDown. I know maybe not off to the greatest start, but still all these new faces that are showing up, and it's kind of proving that at least developmental is, I guess, doing its job and putting people on TV also around the time when they also let a lot of people go from the company. So, I mean, that's the point of this show, and it's you're kind of seeing it working right now. Braun Breaker, another one being used in big programs on TV. So, you know, hey, it is still a big success coming through the PC as they will. But yeah, it's cool to see that, especially Trick. Oh man, and Oba. The Oba walk is just
I think the for the vision of what they want main roster to be, I think NXT has been a good feeder system the last few years, and probably better than when NXT was at its peak. You know, black and gold. I think there's a more clear line of, you know, the characters we're building in NXT and how they're going to work on the main roster, which maybe wasn't there before the 2.0 era.
The era that maybe a lot of people liked, including ourselves, like you had a lot of the indie darlings being snatched up, and this is obviously pre-AEW and then going into like the Wednesday night wars, if you will, that did or did not exist, depending on who you ask. But yeah, so I'm liking, like, at least you see the trajectory now. Like, you cut and move. They have made stars through NXT. It has worked with people with wrestling backgrounds and people with not, and it definitely has worked. We just did a show on Sunday where we talked about some Trick Williams. Oba wasn't on the show, but we talked about Trick and how just damn over he is with the WWE audience. But check out our latest edition of Poisonrana Live. Search us in your podcast app or YouTube. Give us a follow, hit that subscribe, and check out all the other shows that we got on the free feed. But Sunday, we did our WWE Backlash review where we talked all about Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, everything from the show, and then also AEW Collision, Fairway to Hell on the golf cart, on the golf course, which
interestingly had a shout out on the Pat McAfee show the other day.
Wow!
So he's definitely done with WWE. That stipulation of never coming back to WWE if Randy Orton loses at WrestleMania.
Interesting.
Seems to be in place because he was putting over Darby Allin. He was putting over the the SoFi Center for that indoor golf thing, and they were showing clips from Collision and just saying how cool it was. It was quite interesting on an ESPN product, which obviously you have ties with WWE, putting over the rival brand there.
I mean, it was an interesting, as we talked about, it's such an interesting show to doing something. They've done it on a cruise ship before. I would love for them to continue this, like, obscure wrestling, like do the mall. I've been to the 2 GCW American Dream shows, and those were fun in the mall. Like, you do other, where would you personally want to see an AEW Collision on a Saturday night? If there was a weird place that you would pick. So like a drama theater, like a Broadway musical on a show. Or like
I mean, you've been seeing the stuff on Twitter, right? Like, where do you want it? I mean, I like places that look different. I think Daly's place at the time felt really different. Like the RBC amphitheater could be cool for wrestling, something like that we have here. But yeah,
Red Rocks.
Oh, absolutely. I like taking risks. I think when the show looks the same every single week, it can be a bit dull. And I think, when they did the Jericho cruise for Dynamite, that just felt like awesome. Or back to WCW, Mall of America, stuff like that. I'd have to think of some interesting venues, but they've picked some cool like little theaters and opera houses and stuff like that. So I'd like to see more of that. But yeah, the golf course thing was nuts. Yeah, do one on a beach again. We haven't had a beach show for a long time.
On an actual beach, like the Nitro has done a few times.
Water park or something, yeah.
I'd like to see them do an AEW Collision at a Rainforest Cafe. That would be pretty hardcore. That would be great. Imagine when the thunderstorm happens. Be epic.
Yes.
You fight through it. I mean, I always go back to the DDT water park. The DDT water park match is, that's iconic. You could do something like that down the line, but I guess maybe lawsuits and injuries. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's at one point it was higher ranked on Cage Match than WrestleMania 17 was the DDT water park water slide match, which it's you can watch highlights on YouTube, which we tend to do often. But yeah, I would love to see AEW continue the weird venue thing, like just different, and it stands out and clearly got them some notion. Like, look, it got them Pat McAfee and ESPN people. I saw a lot of golf people being like upset about it, but of course golf people being the most you get creative. That with everything. Like when the NFL comes to London and plays at like Wembley or wherever, there's always like disgruntled football fans, European football fans, because you still, you go to the next game, there's still faint lines of the gridiron on the pitch and stuff like that. Like, people are always going to be happy, but come on, let someone suplex someone on a fucking sand dune. What's wrong with that? It was just cool. It was just great visuals. And that bump that Darby took, I do not know how he's supposed to face Takeshita, but very looking forward to Dynamite tomorrow night with, last week AEW, other than I loved the Pac and Darby thing. That was pretty insane, as we talked about on our Sunday show. But like this week, looking good. And for anyone in the New York, Queens area, follow us. If you are going to attend Double or Nothing, we will be too. And we may be hitting up cheap shots before, just maybe.
I think so, yeah. We went there before, was it the second Grand Slam? We did a little gathering there, and it seemed a good venue. If you're going to Queens for the first time, well, Flushing for the first time, where, Citi Field and the tennis complex is, there really isn't a whole lot there. So if I remember correctly, this place was about a 10-15 minute Uber away. So it's in the vicinity, and was great stuff. Cheap drinks, good staff, good vibe, good big space for all of us to hang out. have some food, have some drinks before the event. So we are going to be hanging there beforehand. So we'd love to see as many of you who are going to Double or Nothing there as we can.
Absolutely. Yes. Spread the word. Any of the postmarks or Poison Pals out there, we will be hanging. And again, feel free to DM us and stuff. But give us a follow on Insta, Twitter, whatever you use, at Poisonrana Pod to stay updated and all that. And while you do, check out all the awesome new reels that we have. Thanks to our friend Surin. Shout out Surin. We got you. We love you. Appreciate you making us look good on the social media for us two millennials. But we're learning now. Look at us grow. Look at us grow. And you can help us grow by following us, checking out all the other content that we have going on, including tons of free shows. Today, the director, writer, producer, I guess host as well, Barry Blaustein passed away, who created Beyond the Mat, a fantastic pro wrestling documentary. And we actually just reviewed it in February for our Patreon. So earlier today, I put it up for free on our very own Poisonrana podcast free feed. So go, first of all, go watch that movie back if you haven't. Like, so many years have passed since like 1999. It's crazy. So, and I still feel like tons of the stuff in it holds up. But we had a great time reviewing it, again, only a few months ago. So shout out to Barry, pour one out. He put, like, that movie is a must watch for a wrestling fan.
It was made by a wrestling fan, former like writer of SNL, directed a bunch of like comedy shows and films, but was a true lover of pro wrestling and made Beyond the Mat. And I know Vince McMahon was concerned about it and thought it might be a hit piece or something like that, but it really isn't. And I think it kind of, a lot of people learned about the, we all know now from Dark Side and just following these stories over the years, but we all know that there's a bit of a dark side to wrestling. And yes, this is a predetermined sport, but everything that surrounds it is very real. And I thought he made that film with a lot of care and love for the sport. So yeah, it's very weird. We just reviewed that and he passed away today. But yes, you can check that out on our podcast feed. It's also now available on our YouTube as well. So we're really trying to grow our YouTube right now. So try and check things out on there, youtube.com/@PoisonRanaPod. And as you mentioned, our reels and shorts, even if you've watched our show already, just giving a little click on them, it does help the algorithm and does help us out a lot. So like and subscribe to everything when you can. Write a nice little comment if you have the time and you want to. All these things go a long way. And we're really trying to build our channel a bit at the moment. We've started getting access to, going to some AEW shows and things like that. And we're really trying to like level up a little bit this summer. So, and you can do all that for absolutely free by just clicking a couple of buttons when you watch this show.
Absolutely. Davey said it. All the little things can add up, and we appreciate people who are new listeners and old listeners, whether you just listen to us here on Tuesdays on Post Wrestling or checking out all the other stuff. Just clicking a follow or subscribe or a like can go a long way. So at Poisonrana Pod, give us a little follow and check out all the other stuff. But Poisonrana live from Sunday, talking about Backlash on the free feed, as well as the Beyond the Mat review, which, show up for the Terry Funk, Mick Foley, The Rock content, but stay for the great, hilarious discussion of New Jack attempting to be the next Denzel Washington.
And don't forget Dennis Stamp.
Oh my God, Dennis Stamp.
Terry Funk might have forgotten about Dennis Stamp, but we certainly will not forget about Dennis Stamp.
Forever. Go watch Beyond the Mat. I feel like we watched it on like YouTube or Dailymotion, but or maybe we bought it on YouTube. But go watch it and then go check out our free review as we talk all about it. Again, a must watch. And if it's been a while, it still holds up. It's a great watch and an even better review that you can hear for free. But we do tons of other shows. If you want to hear even more, you can go to patreon.com/PoisonRana, because we do tons of shows. As we mentioned, that show was from a few months ago. But recently we've been doing our Was Next series, where we go back in time to look at the black and gold era of NXT. We're currently in the summer of 2014, on the road to the NXT Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view or a network special. And we recently talked about the July 17th, 2014, talking about Tyson Kidd and Sami Zayn in the main event, plus the BFFs and Natalya. There's all the crazy stuff going. Enzo and Cass, the vaudevillains. Oh, it's nuts in 2014 NXT. So if you're an NXT head, that's the podcast series for you. But we also have a series called Best Match Ever. And we got a big 2-weeker here, if that's even a word. But last week, we looked at the very best, and maybe the worst, of Hulk Hogan, as we talked about our honest opinions on the Hulkster, plus the whole new Real American Netflix documentary. Go through that as well. But then we look at the best, highest ranked matches that we put together, 7 best matches of Hulk Hogan that may be also considered his worst. I don't know. But we looked through the whole career of the Hulkster, the good and the bad. We talked about it all. And we gave our 2 cents on what we like and definitely didn't like of Hulk Hogan. But if that's not for you, and I totally understand if it's not, this week, tomorrow, we're recording a huge show. This is for the New fans, the New Japan fans out there. We are honoring and celebrating the career of Hiroshi Tanahashi as Eric Marcotte from Post Wrestling, one of the biggest Tanahashi fans we know, Ace Hole, biggest one. He's going to join us to talk about the best of Tanahashi. He gave us a 7-match list.
8 match.
Well, but then I told him, hey,
yeah, okay.
I said, hey, it's probably best we add his last match that just happened in January. So that's my fault. So this is going to take us about 3 days to get through all these matches, but we're going to do this review tomorrow.
Have you started the homework? Yeah.
I watched 2 matches today, and it's long, but there's so much good stuff to watch. I just watched Tana versus Suzuki, and then one of the Tana Okada matches. So already off to a great start.
Yeah.
This show is going to be great.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through so far, thoroughly enjoying it. If you are a patron, we have put links to all the videos on there. Obviously, you can find these all on New Japan World. But yeah, this is a tremendous list that Eric's put together, and very excited to talk all about it.
Yeah, Hiroshi Tanahashi, one of the best. Loved his retirement and loved his career. And we're looking at some fantastic matches. A great playlist for you to watch along and then check us out as we review, rate them, and all that stuff. But reviewing that tomorrow.
And then on top of that, to round off the month, we're going to be talking about the movie Kayfabe from 2007, a mockumentary about a fake wrestling company. This has been picked by one of our world champion patrons. I've never heard of this movie. I've never seen this movie, but it is a comedy movie about pro wrestling. So by God, we're going to review it, and looking forward to this one. That'll be available on the Patreon, as well as our little snap runners, because we are going on a little bit of a road trip. As you mentioned, we are going to Queens for Double or Nothing. So we will be putting up hopefully a couple of short little snap runners, normally walking to or from or in between bars.
Rudy's.
Yes, people tend to enjoy these ones. We've even been as crazy as recording a podcast on the grassy knoll in the past. So who knows what's going to happen with this one. But it's always a good time to be a patron when we're doing one of our little trips, because we like putting up little surprise shows along the way.
Absolutely. It's always fun when we go on these little wrestling weekends and then we record ourselves. The last time in Vancouver, we were in Whistler. We recorded one in the middle of 2 giant mountains on a gondola.
Literally thousands of feet in the sky. We were on a cable car and just recording a show. We had the whole... It was better than our studio. We had the whole cable car to ourselves. It sounded great. The views were incredible. Maybe we just... Actually, no, the rent was quite expensive for that cable car, so maybe it won't be a permanent studio, right. But yes.
Who knows? In New York, we'll try to record something. We have recorded in Rudy's, I think. That's how drunk we got one time. But we'll definitely record a few things, and then you may hear our dulcet tones at the Double or Nothing presser after the show. So hopefully we get some questions into some of the people after Double or Nothing, but looking forward to that. So yeah, snap ranas and more. You want to support us, it's $5 a month to get all these podcasts plus all the others. Patreon.com/poisonrana. $5. What are you waiting for? Go check us out, support. You want to buy us a beer next weekend? You can by buying yourself podcasts. Patreon.com/poisonrana. How you doing? You ready to talk about some NXT?
Yeah, we would normally do a little bit of Raw talk on this show. We did talk about Backlash on Sunday's show, which I was pretty positive about. I think it's been one of the better WWE PLEs for a while. There was some good stuff on there, especially that Io Asuka match, and I quite enjoyed the main event. We might have got a little bit controversial with our thoughts about Seth freaking Rollins. But yeah, I checked out Raw yesterday, and man, I have nothing to say about that show from last night. It felt so rinse and repeat, more so than usual. The Jacob Fatu Roman segment, I feel I've watched that segment 3 times now at this point. So really don't have much thoughts on Raw. I am looking forward to the AAA show this Saturday, the Mask v Mask of the Americanos, that finally coming to a peak.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to try and fit that in before Sunday's show, Poisonrana. But yeah, I'm hoping for a good Dynamite this week, because I know both of us were a little low on last week's Dynamite, and we need that to pick up before Double or Nothing. We need some matches to be announced, but yeah, I think right now it's kind of back to how things were a few years ago, with NXT being the most exciting product under the WWE umbrella.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I know I was definitely poking the bear and maybe saying Seth just wasn't doing it for me. And then I was shocked to hear that you were kind of agreeing with me. And then I've been on Twitter during NXT today, and I saw lots of people in, wrestling podcasts and other, wrestling influence online people who are pretty much having the same discourse about the Seth Rollins thing. And I guess everyone's kind of feeling the same thing. Like, hey, like maybe he needs to take some time, heal up properly, or I don't know. But we definitely maybe ruffled some. We were thinking the same thing as maybe some other people.
Yeah.
We weren't just being negative Nancy's. So that's kind of good to know. Because sometimes I'm sure I could be a negative Nancy, but I don't know if I will be while talking about this show tonight. But I definitely, WWE as a whole, I feel the kind of the ick as a WWE fan. NXT is at least its own little island, its own little bubble, at least sometimes. So I can get away with watching this show. But like you said, AAA, okay, still under the WWE umbrella, but you can watch that show on the weekend. There's so much other wrestling, New Japan stuff. I'm sure they'll hype up stuff for like Forbidden Door down the line. And then CMLL, they got BSK showing up. They're cooking. They're on fire. BTS. What did I say? BSK. They wish they had BSK.
Undertaker, Yokozuna, Savio Vega.
Like, bring them back.
Just playing Bones with Mystico.
Naked Midian.
CMLL.
Want Mystico to come out with a BSK jacket. Yeah, that's BTS. That's what I meant. But yeah, then you see NWA's beating TNA in the ratings. Like, what the hell is going on in the world with the wrestling? All the wrestling you can absolutely handle. And no matter what it is, there's so much wrestling to watch. So cheers to the people who watch it all, and cheers to the people who watch what they like and what you don't like, whatever. But yeah, pro wrestling brings us together, right? Hell yeah. That's why we're here today, to talk about some NXT from May 12th, 2026. We go to Florida, Orlando, the Performance Center, as we have a little bit of a recap of what's been going on with NXT, some of the new people getting involved, including Mason Rook and NARAKU. We'll get over and we'll discuss how to pronounce that properly. Yes, I'm looking at you, Booker T, for messing up my algorithm of I thought I had it, and then he said it wrong, and then now I'm confused too. But we'll get there. NXT is evil. NXT enters the abyss. But we start off with a tag team match. Tatum Paxley, the women's North American champion, and Lizzy Rain, heavy metal, in a tag team match, taking on Big Cat Kita? Nikkita Lyons?
Yep.
Big Cat Kita, who comes out with a cape and a red masquerade or red gimp cat mask with spikes all over it. Shout out Halle Berry.
Yes.
This reminded me of the basketball scene in Catwoman. But
so scandalous.
She kind of looked like she was kind of dressed as King from Tekken, or tiger mask or something. Maybe I'm leaning into this too much, but she did do a tiger bomb in this match. So.
Well, she's meant to be a lioness.
Yeah.
So pick your right cat, Nikkita.
Big cat. Yeah, just big cat. No, you can be all cats. It's okay. All cats. So Nikkita and who is she facing in this match?
It's Nikkita and Zaria versus Tatum and Lizzy Rain.
So Nikkita is in here with Tatum here, and she has some control. Eventually, Lizzy and Nikkita are going at it. We said the last few times Nikkita showed up on TV, she's definitely looked like she stepped it up in the ring, and I would say so here too.
Especially that spin kick she does is looking very good now, I will say.
Nikkita eventually is in the ring with Tatum and getting the offense, and like I said, hits the sit-out tiger driver, like the tiger bomb, on Tatum for a 2 count. Eventually, Lizzy's back in and hits like a cutter and then this running elbow. Tatum's back in with Nikkita still, and then hits a super kick, but Nikkita answers back with that spin kick, like you said, and then goes to tag Zaria, but Zaria drops off the apron and goes, nah, I don't have time for this, and leaves Nikkita alone in the match, allowing Lizzy Rain to hit her pop-up knee strike, the Thunderstruck, for the win on Nikkita. And Tatum and Lizzy stand tall over this walkout from Zaria. So
there was a bit of a theme on this episode of people that don't want to be tag team partners with each other. You had Zaria, who made it very clear, I was in a tag team with Sol Ruka.
Yeah. Kind
of ended badly with me. It's kind of like, you go through a breakup and someone right away is like, hey, my friend's single and wants a date. And you go, I'm kind of still grieving right now. No, go and have a date. And you get drunk and it all goes pear-shaped. Not that that's ever happened to me or anything. But there was that with Zaria. She said, Mr. Stone, I don't want to do this. And then he put her out there. Then you have Miles and Tony, who don't want to be a tag team. You have Lennox and Saquon, who don't want to be a tag team.
Can they coexist?
There was a bit of a theme going on tonight, but yeah, I enjoyed this. I thought the pairing of Lizzy and Tatum worked, and the segment we see later with Shiloh, I kind of like that little unit. NXT's been quite good at just pairing up little groups. We've got Micah with the Vanity Project, and when they were hanging with Ethan and Ricky, they seem to do a good job of pairing people that work together well for the most part. So enjoyed their chemistry. And I'm not the biggest Nikkita Lyons fan, but I think the last few weeks she has definitely stepped it up, and whatever she's been doing down in Evolve has obviously helped her.
The whole big cat and singing and chakras and whatever character is easy to hate.
Absolutely.
It's a good heel character, but I do think when we saw her a year ago or even before that, her wrestling has definitely advanced from the last time the last few times on TV. She has totally stepped it up in the ring. So I will totally that's good for her, and maybe she's going to continue and she's locked in, maybe. But I guess we're gonna go to see Zaria versus Nikkita one-on-one down the line. But
I would think so. I forgot to plug my laptop in, so I'm gonna let you queue up the next bit and quickly plug it in so we don't die.
So we go from that to Rendell backstage. Ren Sinclair and Kendal Gray. Kendall's in the main event, so she's getting ready for that. They're talking about tonight, and Ren is like, I don't know if I should be out there with you. Maybe you should do this on your own. When Lola walks in, the champion, they say, Hola, Lola, in stereo. Kendal says that, hey, things between us aren't quite over yet, and if I win, I'm coming after that championship. And Lola says that she will be watching. You got it plugged in? Hola, Lola.
We're back, mama. We're back, mama.
Yes. So, Kendal tonight in the main event. We get a commercial
but doing a good job of we've seen be very successful in AEW right now is getting a clear sort of 6 people who are in this world title scene.
Right.
I think especially on this episode, they're doing a good job with the women with that, because now you're getting a bit of animosity even between the baby faces here of Kendal and Lola, with Kendal being like, hey, wrestling's better than MMA. We're both kind of crossover stars, but I'm going to prove that wrestling beats MMA.
Like, I think Kendal eventually will get that match and will maybe be the one to take it from Lola, but kind of signaled where we would be going, I think, tonight. We get a commercial for AAA Triple Mania, September 11th, September 13th in Mexico City. Now, is this not Arena Mexico, right? This is like an actual, this other...
CMLL own Arena Mexico, so
Yeah,
AAA,
exactly.
AAA
Yeah.
won't run it. But yeah,
Yeah, but
another arena.
But in Mexico City.
Yeah.
So we going? Mexico for Triple Mania?
September?
I feel like...
I'd have just got back from London, but...
Oh, right, yeah. I feel like I would my one venue on the bucket list is still Arena Mexico, and I feel like I'd like to go to CMLL maybe more so.
I think I'd prefer to see a CMLL show over a AAA show.
Breaking news: NXT Live has added Penta, Bailey, and Grayson Waller to their tour this upcoming week.
Yes, they're doing. They're in Buffalo on Friday, aren't they?
Yeah, Riverworks.
Nice.
We were thinking about it when we've seen it pop up, but unfortunately schedules and stuff, and we are going away to a different part of New York next week. But we're gonna miss Grayson Waller. And Penta, I mean, I guess they added some main roster people to move some tickets, but I have been to Riverworks for a Ring of Honor New Japan show like ages ago, and I love that venue so much. It's like a rock venue where it kind of overlooks the water. It's a brewery as well.
Nice.
It's super cool. So anyone going to NXT in Buffalo, let us know the live reports or any of the dates. They're doing a few others like Saturday, Sunday in some other cities. But yeah, Penta, Bailey, and Grayson Waller, NXT. What would you hope the match? If you could have Penta defending against like one of the like Sean Legacy or something, some of those crazy guys.
Yeah, like an EK Prosper or any of that like group of people. No, it would be Lexis King, wouldn't it? Penta, like it would be a heel. But Bailey v Kendal, Bailey v Kelani,
Nice.
either of them would be good. And then Grayson Waller, Sean Legacy. There you go.
Right. Or maybe it'll be Penta versus Lince Dorado, because he is here on NXT. It's Lucha Lit as the Lucha Cat. Lince Dorado makes his NXT return here, and he is facing the in-ring debut of the artist formerly known as Evil, now known as NARAKU.
NARAKU. Yes.
Which apparently means abyss. Joseph Park in Japanese. Very cool entrance. He has like the Japanese like Oni mask with the like purple lights and some fog. He kind of is like Prince, the artist formerly known as Evil. And already, so the announcer goes NARAKU to make sure we understand the pronunciation. And then almost instantly, Booker T is like, NARAKU is on fire right now. I'm like, fuck.
You literally pronounce it as it's written.
NARAKU.
Like, I know we get on Book a lot for just his silliness, but like basic name pronunciation, dude, that's your job. Like, that's what you got to do. Like, I can't stand it. You see it in all sports as well, these commentators that don't know how to pronounce people's names. And it's, you know, when you meet someone for the first time and they have a slightly different name, you go like, sorry, how do I pronounce that? Tell me a couple of times so I can get it, because I don't want to fuck up your name. Like, I don't know. I think it's pretty shitty. I feel like, especially a debut where we're all trying to like get to grips with what this guy's new name is.
I feel like by the end of it, though, the producers in his ear were fixing it. Like, he had corrected himself by the end of the match, but he was saying it a few times, and it was confusing me because Vic Joseph last week actually pronounced it a third different way. So that last week,
wasn't it Naruku last week?
Yeah, so like, is it Naruto? What are we talking about? I don't know. So now we know it's NARAKU. So there you have it. Lince Dorado versus NARAKU, and Lince evades him with some like back flips and then a springboard cross body. He goes for this armbar, which is pretty cool, but NARAKU gets out of it and then hits an exploder into the turnbuckle. Ends up hitting this big lariat, and then they start chopping each other. NARAKU hits a fisherman buster, and then Enter the Abyss, or formerly known as Everything is Evil, the like leg sweep STO takedown, and he pins Lince Dorado for the win. and then stares into the camera and cuts a little promo in Japanese. Basically, I thought he just said everything is evil, but he said that the Abyss is going to take everything. And then said, yeah, he's pretty evil. But yeah, NARAKU beats Lince in his debut.
It was so weird watching an evil match with no bullshit,
no chairs,
house of torture, no chairs
being thrown.
He just came out and, not an overblown, like overly long for no reason match, no Dick Togo or anyone else. Like just he wrestled for what? This was like 4 minutes, not long.
Isn't it weird?
Hit some moves, they look good. Like he cut his promo and got out of there. Like fine. Like the entrance was solid. I don't think it was anything that's necessarily going to make you go, wow, if you've seen him for the first time. But presentation wasn't bad. And yeah, it was just weirdly refreshing to see him without all the other bullshit.
It's kind of funny because if you have watched this guy, yeah, his gimmick is House of Torture bullshit, like you said, where it's always, smoke and mirrors or dodging the opponent and, outside interference, especially New Japan chairs. I just always picture
it's the baseball thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, those chairs. So yeah, he just has a basic NXT match, which is just like, oh, that was weird. So
against returning Lince Dorado, not dressed as the Undertaker in this one.
Right.
Still one of the weirdest things. We went to Demand Lucha show, which shout out Demand Lucha. They're fantastic.
Absolutely.
Just did a show in the Well for Cinco de Mayo.
I mean, hey, next Thursday, are you working? Demand Lucha doing a show. I have it off finally. A Thursday night I have off because we leave Friday morning. I am going to check out Demand Lucha next week. Absolutely. They have a ton of awesome stuff. If you're in the Toronto area, check out Demand Lucha, and they do have a show next Thursday. And they got Gringo returning. Arez unfortunately had to pull out, so I know they got another like AAA guy in there. But they're always putting on the best wrestling in Toronto. So check out Demand Lucha.
They're fantastic. But yes, we saw Lince Dorado wrestle there once, and he just did the Undertaker's entrance and came out dressed as the Undertaker, and we were all very, very confused
he just felt like it
to why.
He's lucha lit, man. He just wanted lucha rip, I guess.
Yeah.
But I like evil NARAKU. Pretty basic match here. Like this will work. Maybe we do see some other people from New Japan come into NXT and join him. Like I wonder if we get some other of the releases. Is Sonata done with them? Takahashi, Hiromu. Oh my God, I would love to see him.
I've seen some rumbles
NXT.
about Hiromu, but don't know. Don't really care to see Sonata.
Maybe he's kind of boring. Like evil. That's the thing. Like
just for WWE, just to be able to market Daryl, they should get Hiromu. Selling those toys on WWE Shop.
Yeah, the Daryls, that's true. The women go crazy for the Daryls in Japan. I've seen them.
Although they'll rename it, won't they? It'll be Darren or something like that.
Oh, nice one. It's like, no matter what, like, okay, you're bringing talent from New Japan, cool. Unfortunately, it's like probably one of my least favorite guys. At least here, he's not doing all the bullshit. He's just back to square one, essentially, with some Prince Purple Lights. But I don't know. First, he didn't look bad. Is basically like I loved his Wrestle Kingdom match with Aaron Wolf, right? That debuting dude, and like that was pretty cool. So like he does know how to wrestle. So let's give him a chance, I guess. But we'll see. Everything is evil. We go backstage. We see EK Prosper, Sean Legacy, and Tate Wilder. They say that they're ready for their 6-man tag in just a few minutes, and that Legacy's like, yeah, you got to pick your spot. Legacy's kind of big broing them a little bit here. And they say, we better get ready. And Tate says that he's ready to bring on the wild side. Get it? Because his name's Tate Wilder. Dorian Van Dukes comes in and says, you guys got this. I'm still on the injured list, but next week I will be cleared so I can wrestle. And Legacy again kind of says like, I know how hard it can be, but you'll make it and watch our match, essentially.
Was it Prosper who was like, yeah, like get healthy soon? I remember when we fought in Belgium and Van Dukes was like, you remembered that? It's quite funny.
I miss Van Dukes. Like, yeah, I hope
we only saw him the once, but he looked great.
Pretty good. So yeah. Well, that match is in a second against the BirthRight, but first we come back and we have a video. Well, BirthRight make their entrance, and not only do they have to stand there and wait in the ring while the commercial break, and then we come back and it's this Natty video where she's filming for LFG, but she's interrupted. It's this behind the scenes video as Jada Parker interrupts Natty, and she says, I want to talk. And she says, I'm busy. I can't talk to you right now. She says, I don't care if it's your birthday. I don't care what day it is or what you're doing. I want to talk to you. And she says, no, I'm busy. And then she says, maybe if you want some time to talk to me, you should join LFG. Maybe you'll learn some things that way. And then they kind of get a little catty here, but Jada is escorted out. And then Natty says, oh, someone's having a bad hair day. So Natty Jada feud is
I'm pumped for this one.
I know you're so excited for this. I thought it was pretty funny when Natty said, maybe you should join LFG. I was like, damn,
that was a good line.
Disrespectful shit I've ever heard in my life. Maybe you should join LFG.
You're not figuring it out? Maybe you should join LFG.
It was pretty funny. You got to give her that. But
yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty much all for this feud that we got. Yeah. So let's move on to my highlight of this show, to be honest. This six-man tag was pretty fun, to be honest. We have EK Prosper, Sean Legacy, and Tate Wilder taking on the BirthRight, which is Charlie Dempsey, Stax, and Uriah Connors.
Dempsey with a nice little ring jacket here. Very colorful.
Dempsey with a nice ring jacket. Lexus King still looking like he's raided Billy Ray Cyrus's closet again with the cane and the Speed Championship. Tate Wilder, we've seen some glimpses of, but they're saying this is his like NXT TV debut, I guess, like in a match. But we saw him show up recently a few times. Didn't
love the look. He's wearing jeans with a bit of a pattern on it that looks kind of very like late 90s with some Vans, and he kind of looks like Ryan Nemeth as well.
He kind of looks like Ryan Nemeth. His jacket kind of looked like it was like a Dodge Ram. Like he looked like he was a guy who's like in a commercial for a truck. And he was wearing the classic Vans shoes. We've seen Sol Ruka wrestle in those as well. But Tate Wilder wrestling in Vans, I got to give him credit because he was moving around in this match while wearing these Vans. I'd say his look definitely, like the pants reminded me of The Miz or something. But then again, he wrestled tonight and I was pleasantly surprised. I was pretty blown away by some of the stuff in this match. So Tate Wilder might look like pretty generic look at the moment, but for a first match on NXT, I was pretty impressed here. We have Legacy and Charlie who are in the ring, and they start lighting each other up. There's a stomp and drop kick combo from Legacy. Prosper's in with Charlie and hits a step up moonsault for a 2 count. Eventually, the BirthRight tag in and out as they beat down on Prosper, and then Legacy flies in with a tope to Lexus King and the BirthRight on the outside, and then does it again. But then you see Uriah who hits this like swanton to the back as he attacks Sean Legacy. And then
this sequence was beautiful because it was set up by Stax, who just charged and like baseball slid through the legs, tripping up. Who was it? Was it Legacy they did this to? Yeah. Tripping up. So, like we go off a lot when we hate it when we see a wrestler waiting for a move. Like whether it's that, hanging on the ropes for someone to hit a double stomp, or, kneeling, waiting to get the curb stomp from Seth Rollins, or the 619 position, whatever. This was so smooth. Stax sweeping the leg and Legacy going down. And just as he was like getting up, Connors hits him with this swanton to the back. I thought looked really good.
So they continue to beat down on him. They get back in and Legacy like hits this Spanish fly out of nowhere out of desperation, and then finally makes a hot tag to Tate Wilder. He comes in and takes down both Charlie and Uriah with like this I think on Stax and Uriah with this like double DDT. Makes one of them DDT the other as he neck breakers the other guy, and then gets up and hits a brainbuster on Charlie for a 2 count. Stax is in now with like these pop-up knees and kicks. Eventually Tate and him are just going back and forth. And again, this guy's wrestling in Vans and he was doing like springboards and stuff. But eventually there's Charlie with Tate up top and hits an avalanche double underhook suplex on Wilder. but it's broken up by Prosper at like a 2.9 here, just flying into the frame out of nowhere. Eventually, there's a Death Valley driver from Uriah on Prosper on the apron. That looked like it killed him. And then they do their, I think Tate's alone in the ring and then hits a TKO, which looks like he's going to win the match, but Stacks breaks it up. It's all getting crazy here. Eventually, Legacy is like, hey, tag me in, tag me in. And Tate is like, no, I got this. So goes up top and hits a splash, but Charlie kicks out of it. Eventually goes up top for a moonsault, but this time Charlie gets out of the way. He tags in Stacks, who then Stacks and Uriah hit this like double V-trigger combo to Tate Wilder.
Like flying, like almost like both doing a Claymore kind of thing, like the kick in the middle, meet me in the middle. It looked really good. Yeah.
Very impressive. Yeah. They hit this move on Wilder and pin him. Stacks pins Tate Wilder as Prosper and Legacy are just looking like, well, you didn't tag us in. So the BirthRight gain the win here on NXT. But I thought this 6-man tag was so much fun. I thought all 6 guys were doing some pretty like impressive back and forth and reversing and picking their spots and getting their shit in, if you will. I thought everyone came out of this looking good. And this is exactly what I want to see on NXT. Like these new people, the new characters, and yeah, putting on some good wrestling. I thought this was really fun. This was my match of the night. Man,
I just said this would have fit in fine on an episode of Dynamite. You know, I thought this was a really enjoyable 6-man tag. If you're one of those people that kind of just listens to us to find out what's going on NXT, go out your way and watch this one because it was a lot of fun. And it's clear that this crop, like these 6, are really hungry. Like they really, you know, we've criticized the men's division for a long time in NXT. These guys, they might not be, you know, like promo wise and that kind of thing, ready to be main eventers, but wrestling wise, they're capable of it because this was super fun, super exciting, non-stop. Told a nice little story as well with, you know, the new kid, Tate Wilder, just trying to... You see this in sport, you know, where like playing soccer and someone's running and really they should go for the pass, but they want to shoot because they want to get the glory of getting the winning goal and then they fuck it up. Or I almost got as well Teddy Hart vibes when he hits the frog splash, and you know that cage match where he just keeps climbing up the top and doing dumb shit. Like I was just thinking that as he's like, "Come on, you've done the splash." Yeah, in the pants as well. Like tag your partner. No, I'm gonna climb up again and do something else crazy. Yeah, I thought this was really enjoyable, and yeah, this is my match of the night. Like really exciting. All 6 of these guys I thought were excellent here.
Yeah, like we've seen Stacks like improve over the years, and he's been, you know, used in the Italian Mob family with Tony, and then now put into this by marriage, BirthRight by marriage. Like I think he's fit in great. Charlie, this is a new fresh coat of paint for him. Uriah, who's not been here as long as the other 2, but still like instantly finding a groove with this stable. And as long as Lexus King gets to be the manager on the outside, the stable is great. And even him, he looks like he's stepped up and gotten in shape and looks great with this cowboy getup. But Prosper, Legacy, and Wilder, like already showing me something fresh on NXT. And I don't know which one of these guys. Okay, so Tate kind of being, you know, unaware or green kayfabe wise because he didn't do the tag. But like I said earlier, Legacy was being kind of coy with them a little bit, so one of these guys I feel like might turn on the other, but regardless, highlight of my show was some fresh
really good
tag here. So we go from that to backstage. Tatum, Paxley, and Lizzy reign, and they're happy about their win earlier tonight. And Tatum says, you know, I've mentioned I want to be a fighting champion, and I want to give you first dibs. I want you to face me next week. That's when Shiloh Hill shows up. He says, congrats, that was so metal. And then he mentions Mr. England, Tristan Angels, has a lot of sheep and owns way too many sheep. And then mentions a beauty pageant thing. And then kind of says, like, what's wrong with that guy anyways? And then says that he's Mr. England. Like, he's not actually Mr. England. And he goes, well, what about who would be Mr. NXT? And Shiloh says, well, like, I hope I could be Mr. NXT. When Mr. England himself walks in and goes, you could never be Mr. NXT, because you're missing a tooth. And then Shiloh says, well, some people say my smile lights up the room. And he goes, yeah, well, that's just because the person who says that's your mom or something like that. Snap back to reality. And I make my in-ring debut next week, and I'm going to show everyone that Tristan Angels is in a class of his own as he walks off. And they're all like, this Mr. England. Lizzy says that she knows him from the past. Like, they've crossed paths before. And
everyone from England knows each other,
of course,
you see?
Yeah. I'm going to assume that they actually do. Like, they usually have probably history, considering, like, they said that. But... It kind of treated it like, I always say this is NXT Love Island or NXT Degrassi, but it was kind of like I know about him. Me and him have crossed paths. And then at the end, he's like, hey, Lizzy, wink. I'm like, is there history between them? I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see. But yeah. So next week, Tristan Angels makes his in-ring debut, but also Tatum versus the Maiden of Metal. 1-on-1.
I am really curious to hear Lizzy Rain's natural accent. Like,
right. You think it's too put on?
Obviously she's English. Like, I'm not saying she's faking the whole thing, but there is something where it's like season 2 or 3 of Dexter. There's the female he gets in a relationship with, who's a murderer or whatever as well, who's British. And she sounds like she's putting on a fake British accent in the show. And I'm looking this up because I've seen her in UK TV before. And I'm like, I think her name's Jamie Murray. And I'm like, she doesn't sound like that. And I'm reading it. And apparently it was like the director or whoever was like, you don't sound British enough. So she had to put on a fake British accent, even though she was British, to sound more British or what Americans think British sounds like. And I know it's this, she's going for that heavy metal, like, she's doing Spiral Tap, isn't she? Like, but it is quite funny. Oh, and talking of Spiral Tap, like, Vic Joseph butchered the reference earlier in the match. Did you catch it?
No, what did he say?
He goes, she's dialing it up to 10.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no, it's the whole point is you dial it up to 11.
Dial up to 11. I haven't watched the second one. I heard like nothing about it, so I'm wondering if it didn't do too well or get great reviews. But I do you can hear our review of This Is Spinal Tap deep in our archive from a few years ago. But
it was only a few months ago. I think it was last summer.
No, it was like last year.
Yeah, last summer.
Okay.
Yeah. Who do you see as I was going to say Aiden English. What's his name? Not Elton Prince. Tristan Angels. There we go. Who do you imagine his first opponent being?
I guess it's not Shiloh Hill, right? I guess they're going to build to that match.
I think so. I think they'd have said otherwise. Like, I'll see you next week. But
they're going to build to Mr. England versus Mr. NXT.
It's hard now. Dante Chen's gone. Like, I don't know who these heels face on the way in.
True. Noam Dar. I guess.
Lince Dorado. There you go.
Lince Dorado. You busy? Yeah, exactly. I guess. But we shall see. We get a recap of Mason Rook, and he will be in the ring signing his NXT contract in just a few minutes. When we come back, there's a video of The Culling. They're in their spooky, dark room. And Izzy, Sean Spears, and Nico Vance, they're proud of their victory last week, the tag team match with Nico. And Izzy repeats that they're always 2 steps ahead in the culling, and that maybe they're done with Tatum, but she has some plans. And then says, "Okay, time to go." And then they all go to get up, and she says, "No, Nico, you stay. I want to talk to you." And then Sean Spears is a little confused, and he goes, "Okay." So he walks off, and she says, "We have to game plan. If Lola's watching the match tonight, I'm gonna watch Lola." Interesting. Maybe they're getting rid of the GPS.
I was gonna say, do you think they're gonna whack Sean? What's his name? Sean Spears,
the chairman.
Yeah, I hate these segments so much. Like, it's the music as well is overkill. Like this music didn't even seem like it fit. It sounded more like something from Lord of the Rings, and it's like it takes me out of it completely. I find it way too over the top. And I gave them a chance. I get why you try these different groups, and I do think it has succeeded somewhat in elevating Izzy, but now it's plateaued, and it's the same thing every single week with them.
It's literally the same like spiel every week, and I think the wrestlers we saw, like Nico showed something. Izzy has definitely showed stuff in some matches and stuff, but it's always the same thing, repeat and repeat. And I don't find her promo interesting or exciting to listen to, and it's always the same whatever. And yeah, I could be done. I could be over the culling. Like I'm over them. I hope they could break it up and move things along, because I feel like Nico Vance could do a whole lot without this. We see Mr. Stone, our GM, in the ring, and he has the NXT contract, and out comes Mason Rook, the guy who's been attacking people for the last few weeks. He has a SmackDown versus Raw type beat, would you say? Here Comes the Pain instrumental music here.
Generic, yeah.
Yeah, but at least menacing, I guess, fits his thing. He's wearing a black shirt and a white button-up. He has the crowd chanting, "He's big, he's bad, he'll body slam your dad." And
they don't know the tune, though. They're trying to do it.
He's big, he's bad, you'll body slam your dad, Mason Rook.
Yeah,
Mason
it's,
Rook.
the Roy Kent one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they're just, at the start they do. They try and, there's some people who are clearly trying to get it on track, because by the end of it, some of them are singing it, but they're just going, "He's big, he's bad, we'll body slam your dad, he's big, he's bad." Come on.
That works
Come
too,
on,
that's
NXT.
fine. But yeah, I know what you mean.
I also, seeing images and videos of this guy pre-NXT, I wish he didn't get rid of the mullet. Like, he's coming out here and in his nice white shirt, like going to his first day at work, his clean haircut. Like, he should look grosser, I think. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad his pants fit this week, but it's... Have you seen videos of him from before? And he's got that dirty mullet and everything. It looks great.
I realized I had been watching this guy's Instagram videos for a long time. I didn't realize it was the same guy. I've been watching this. So his Instagram, I wonder, like, I'm going to assume this is how this guy got found. And I'm just going to assume this because someone pointed this out to me, that he's been doing the Instagram videos where he like does like insane. He creates a wrestling finisher. So instantly... give this guy the book, the pen, when it comes to that finisher class. Because this guy could create new finishers for everybody in NXT who needs it. No more shoulder blocks. No more ass attacks. We need real signature moves that make money. Signature moves make money, okay? This guy could teach you some. I know he's only done a moonsault and some stuff so far, but I've seen his Instagram videos where he has created like some pretty cool, devastating stuff. But I know what you mean, because he had this like... nasty wrestling mullet. Only in wrestling would you ask somebody, "Please, why did you shave your mullet?" Would only in wrestling do mullets work? And Joe Dirt, mullets work.
He looked like his mum went, "Oh, Mason, you can't go to your job interview looking like that. Come on, let's go. We'll buy you a nice new shirt. We'll get you a nice haircut." I don't know. It feels like it juxtaposed the character he's trying to.
Maybe he'll grow it back out. Maybe
I
he'll
hope
grow it
so.
back out.
Yeah.
Like, we've already seen what he's actually capable of, and we're like, okay. You know, I will say, like, he's got the look that's not, the average wrestler build or the average wrestler look, but some of my favorite wrestlers fit in that category.
Absolutely.
Who don't fit, like, the mold, like your Mankind's or Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe's or things like that. So this guy is new and young, and we've seen some great stuff from him already. And I think this is already a great, I'm willing to look past the outfits that he's chosen thus far on TV, but because I already know that this guy is great. And I'll say after this segment, I'm like, how quickly can we just give him the belt? Can we just make him the champion like right now? Because this guy is already awesome. So Mason Rook, you're sick. I've seen enough. Give him the belt. That's but he's got to sign his contract here. So he comes out. The crowd's chanting, "He's big, he's bad. He'll body slam your dad." He says that he has traveled all around Europe. He's been to Japan. I've been all around the world. Even the greatest of all time, John Cena, sees me. John Cena has been tweeting about this guy and posting stuff on his Instagram. I guess I don't know if the connection was John Cena actually got this guy hired or if he was involved in that or something. But
he's also been posting, "Hey guy, just wait. Like the John Cena Classic might fuck up, but at least I tried. Just give it a chance, guys."
Yeah.
Did you see
Don't get
that?
me started on that John Cena Classic. Mason Rook continues. He says, "I'm a flying human tank. Everyone's asking me. I must feel great. It must be all this. Well, I'm not. I'm not going to feel good until I have everything. And I'm not the best. I am the best heavyweight. I'm the best any weight. So whoever steps in my way, you're going to, if you try to stop a tank, you get crushed." As Tony D'Angelo interrupts him, he comes out, the NXT champion. He says, "Mason, if you wanted my attention, you definitely got it after attacking me." And before he can continue, he's attacked again by Cam Hendricks. There's a big pull apart here. All these jobber cops are out there trying to pull them apart, as then Mason Rook goes up top and hits a flying moonsault to everyone, taking everyone out. The flying tank indeed. And he says everyone got crushed as the segment goes to commercial. But yeah, this other guy, Cam Hendricks, who's new, they're putting him into the story, which there's a whole lot going on with Tony D and the NXT title. But like you said earlier, there's people calling their shots for championships now, which makes things a bit more clear. But yeah, I know people are maybe going to be, going back and forth about this guy's initial look. But honestly, Mason Rook, like I've seen already, I'm like, this guy's such a breath of fresh air that we've been like begging for here in NXT for the men's division. And like, yeah, he needs to win this on his first shot. This needs to be like Kevin Owens coming into NXT and winning right away is what we need to do.
You need people like this in wrestling, right? Like it's your Vaders, your Bam Bam Bigelows,
exactly.
like your all those, as you said, Mankind, Kevin Owens, all that, like the different types. I think he's of the new crop of people, he's been the most memorable so far, and they've given him the most focus. Like they've given him more focus than Evil, so far.
Yeah.
Cam Hendricks, we haven't, or unless I'm forgetting, we haven't seen him wrestle in NXT yet, have we?
I can't remember seeing him, but I know
he's the one every week when he shows up. I'm like, oh yeah, he's here as well. I think they need to give him a debut match or something to make him memorable, because right now I'm going, I don't know why this guy is in this world title picture at the moment, because I've seen nothing. At least this guy, Mason Rook, right on his debut, you go, who is that? Like, it's such a striking look, such a different look, and then hitting this killer looking moonsault on everyone. It's really working, and I agree. I think you should like just have him steamroll, and like, yeah, even first match win the title would be great. I'm really high up on him already and excited to see what he's doing.
Yeah, I like the flying tank gimmick too.
Yeah.
Like he kind of is like a flying tank when he does these jumping moves. Put that on a shirt, I guess. Or maybe that's what he calls his big moonsault. But again, I've seen this guy's Instagram videos. He comes up with some pretty innovative like power bombs and pile drivers and stuff. So I'm excited, and I would instantly strap this guy up. We needed the men's division shake up for so long, and finally it feels like it feels like the old days. Like, oh, okay, I wasn't super familiar with this guy beforehand, but bringing this new guy in and treating him like, oh wait, this guy's a monster and taking over. Book it. Yeah. Book him to the moon. Strap him up. We see Noam Dar backstage with Romeo. Where art thou, Romeo? Okay, what's this guy's name? Is it Romeo something?
Is it Romeo Romero?
Romeo Romero?
Am I making that up?
Probably. I feel like you're no help with Evolve names as much as I am, but I keep saying I'm going to watch more Evolve.
Romeo Moreno. Okay. Romeo Moreno. Yes, I'm
and
close.
Noam Dar are backstage, and they're talking. Romeo's gimmick is he's just a mark for NXT UK.
Not just NXT, just Noam Dar. He's like, man, I was watching your Battleground match from 2022.
He just loves Noam Dar so much.
Why are you watching 2022 NXT, Romeo?
Yeah, what is wrong with you? You sicko.
He's like, whoa, and you're still here. You're still here in NXT, Noam. Like, wow.
Maybe this is like leading to this guy's being a heel. Like
I think so. I feel it should, because this is awful right now. What they're giving him.
He's just listing off the best of Noam Dar. Well, Romeo and Dar are backstage, and they're talking about that. And he says, remember when you were... He's kind of like the Chris Farley SNL sketch where Farley would interview celebrities like Paul McCartney, and he'd be like, hey, Paul, thanks for being on my show. Remember when you were in the Beatles? Yeah. Remember when you were in Wings? It's like... He's like, remember when you ate Noam? Remember when you won the Heritage Cup? And he's like, yeah, mate, I remember.
Hey,
yeah.
Do you know the member berries from South Park as well?
No.
There's a whole season, and there's these things called member berries, and they're these little berries that say that. Hey, remember the Beatles? Oh, I remember Beatles. Yeah, the Beatles. Remember Queen? Cup? Yeah, Queen. Here, remember Alicia Fox? Like,
remember what was it? Stable? Oh man, I'm blanking on
Metaphor,
because he still has the music. Remember
yeah.
Metaphor? Pour one out for Metaphor. Lash is killing it now. She's on the main roster.
Romeo remembers. That could be his little talk show.
We see your favorite NXT's newest reporter, Emily Agard, is outside somewhere in Orlando at a cookout with OTM. She's outside. She's out the mud. And they're having a little
They've not let her in the studio yet, have they?
No, they've not let her into the Performance Center, but they're sending her on location yet again to have a cookout with OTM. And she says, I'm here today at the barbecue with them to learn more about OTM. First of all, what'd you think of their barbecue spread, their cookout spread? You know, we have issues.
Yeah, sorry.
We have issues with the food. Like when it comes to, remember Tony D and the Italian family?
Yeah.
Would eat like the most bland looking pasta. Now I understand it's the little things, but OTM, you're telling me you're all having a cookout and the only thing you're eating is a single measly little hot dog that looks like the shittiest, like not even the Costco glizzies. Like, what's going on here?
Okay, all I'm hoping is that there's stuff that's taking longer to cook.
Right.
You know when you do, like, you're doing the barbecue ribs. And the chicken and the ribs take a while.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, well, I've got a hot dog ready. So let's sit down, have a hot dog.
I hope so.
Hot dog. Talk about your mum, talk about your brother, and then by the time we finish the interview, we can flip the chicken or something. Because
like summer's coming, I can't wait to do some barbecuing, and like I'm just.
This did look pretty pathetic.
Yeah, that's all you got, like these little dogs. I guess the budget, they didn't want to just buy a bunch of food, but this wasn't the biggest cookout. There's 4 people at this cookout, and one of them's the reporter doing her job. She's paid to be there.
Don't forget little JJ though.
Yeah, we're gonna meet little JJ. So OTM, we have Lucian Price, Bronco Nima, and Emily Agard sitting outside, and Lil JJ we meet is Bronco's lil bro, and he's sitting there eating a hot dog with them. Nice fade there.
Yeah,
the man bun on top. JJ is Bronco's little brother, we're told here. They talk about their history with playing football in the past that got them here to WWE. And Emily says, okay, well, why don't you tell me something we don't know about each other? And Lucian Price decides to talk about Bronco here. And he says, well, like this guy, Bronco. Dead. Yeah, pretty much is what he says. He goes, Bronco is tough and he's loyal and he had to be a man at a young age. He lost his mom. And now he takes care of his little bro, little JJ. And Bronco says, yeah, I don't usually like people saying that. So thanks for sharing that, and kind of gives Lucian a little shit for that. He goes, but manhood isn't about age. It's about responsibility. And says, thanks. I never really like to talk about that. And Emily asks JJ, what does OTM mean to you? And he says, it's an embodiment to overcome adversity well. And she's like, wow, you teaching this guy some big... He's talking like Shiloh Hill over here, this little JJ. And then Bronco says something about Lucian and says that he's real quiet, but he studies and he listens and he's always plotting. And also, something people might not know is he's an artist. And he's pretty good at art. And don't be mad that I said that, but he's good.
And Lucian, shucks. Oh, come on.
Art, come on. And then they say that they complement each other well, says Emily. And then in stereo, they say, we're kind of like yin and yang. Jinx, you owe me a soda. They didn't say that, but imagine they did. at this cookout. So there we go. We learned some things about OTM. They never have brought that up about Bronco and Lil JJ. Who knows? Maybe Lil JJ will get in the ring one day. Come out with OTM.
I think we should see Lil JJ again.
Yeah.
I found this kind of corny, but I didn't hate it. I think this is the most likable OTM's ever been. Like, there's been times where I think they were meant to be baby faces because the PC seemed to like them, but I haven't really seen anything babyface about them. I think they have worked on their delivery. Like, I understand what they're saying now, and that used to be an issue where they'd like garble a lot, whereas I think they're a lot clearer now. They seemed seemed as a tag team. They seemed to like each other more. So I think this was kind of effective. It weirded me out a little bit. I know it's his little bro, but Bronco just wouldn't take his hand off the knee of his brother. And after a while, it was like,
holding his knee
your
down.
hand's been there for like a minute now. But no, I liked it. And I kind of like that these Emily Agard segments so far are away. It's like, let's go on location. Let's get away from the studio. Let's do something else and try to humanize these people a bit. And I think it was somewhat successful last week with trying to find a bit more of a human side of Keanu Carver, and it's clearly what they were trying to do this week with OTM. So I'd give it a thumbs up for this.
Yeah, like it's done cheap. It was like, okay, it's literally just them hanging outside their apartment having a hot dog as they get interviewed and tell me something we don't know about you. But at the same time, like, that has been something this team they have gone away and come back, and there's been injuries and this and that, but they have improved in the wrestling of what we've seen, but their character has just been like, yeah, we're out the mud, we're from the hood, essentially, and okay, well, who are you, essentially, is what we learned some more things from them that we didn't know before. So in the end, it is a positive.
We need I guess looking at the roster right now, it's only really Dark State, but we need a heel tag team to win the titles for OTM to chase and kidnap little JJ.
Oh, you want someone to kidnap little JJ
let's
already?
Kidnap. Yeah.
Jeez. Little JJ's, maybe if OTM go up against Vanity Project, they got Micah Lockwood.
Yeah.
And then OTM's got JJ. Right? Face to face, the height difference would be crazy. But yeah, more little JJ on NXT.
Absolutely.
Why not? For real. We go to Vanity Project as they're ringside for a match. Jackson Drake, Dr. Thirst. I like how it says that on his tights.
Yeah. In the Doctor Strange font.
Dr. Thirst. Vanity Project are out there with Micah. Jackson comes out on her shoulders here. Last week, I think I saw a lot of comparisons this week since the pairing. DX comparison, definitely, with Vanity Project and Micah Lockwood. And Jackson Drake is literally doing the bit that they would do with China, where they would sit on her shoulders as they came out. So Jackson Drake is out here to take on Noam Dar in a one-on-one match. Right away, Drake is trying to hit Noam with a flying kick and gets countered midair, and Dar picks the ankle and puts him into an ankle lock, which looked really nice. Eventually, Dar hits a pump kick, sending him out to the ringside area as we go into commercial break. Drake gets the offense back and then starts to attack all the body parts of Noam. There's this like Hogan-esque leg drop at one point. Starts working the shoulder and the arms and the fingers even. Stomps on the fingers of Noam Dar. I guess Jackson Drake also is a big fan of NXT UK. There's a superplex off the top. There's then slaps and strikes back and forth. Dar hits his Superman punch and then a snap German for a near fall and then a Northern Lights. And then Drake fires back with the Gibson special with the knees to the gut. And then there's all these pinning attempt. Noam Dar hits his very nice European clutch, but Drake gets out of it. There's then the like German attempt fake out into the armbar, but then Micah gets involved and then Dar goes to the outside and like he then throws Vanity Project. Like he knows their plan. He knew that Micah was distracting so that Vanity, when the ref doesn't see, attacks him. So he dodges them and sends Ricky Smokes and Brad like into the steps or into each other, allowing Micah, when the ref doesn't see, to kind of stop him from getting into the ring, which allows Drake to clear him, go up top, and hits the 450 for the win. Jackson Drake pinning Noam Dar on his return to NXT. Oh no, not Say it isn't so, Noam. But you know what? Pretty fun match. Noam Dar, we've seen all these years throughout NXT and NXT UK with some great wrestling, like his kicks, his submissions, his suplexes always look good and snappy. I thought he looked like he didn't miss a beat when it came to the wrestling. And as I've said in the last few weeks, like Jackson Drake is my favorite guy to watch on NXT right now. Like just this guy can only go up and continue to get better. And I love the whole Vanity Project with Micah in the China role a whole lot, actually. So this was some good wrestling. I'm just kind of like, what are we doing with Noam? Why did he even come back in the first place? And yeah,
it's really weird. Like, yeah, first of all, I really enjoyed the match, and Noam Dar, he's been out for a long time and looked great. Like some of his transitions, especially his like how smooth he goes into submissions, and you mentioned that European clutch and stuff. He's so solid. And Jackson Drake is awesome as well. And the whole act with Vanity Project and Micah really working. It's just, Noam, like, you've got this crop of NXT UK talent. You've got Nathan Fraser, who's 27. You've got Noam Dar and Pete Dunne, who are 32. You've got Tyler Bate, who I think's 29. And they're all still so young. And they're just veterans now. And I don't know, like, we've seen them for so long, and Tyler Bate was like the youngest WWE champion of any sort of title at one point, and that match in Chicago with Pete Dunne and all these high hopes. Nathan Fraser, like the stuff, he was a prodigy that that Ben Carter on AEW Dark, and people go, whoa, who is this kid? And just all of them are just floating around doing, two of them are luchadors now. And Noam Dar is still in NXT for all these years. And it's just kind of sad to see, because you're seeing all these new people come in and, you say veteran. You feel like, yeah, you're veteran when you're in your mid to late 30s, your 40s. Some of these guys aren't even 30 yet, and they're grizzled young vets, if you know what I mean. So it's just, you do wonder, like, what is Noam Dar's purpose? Like, I know Pete Dunne does a lot of the producing, and they clearly, you've heard a lot of people talk about Pete Dunne's mind and like how he's great at putting together matches and stuff. So I know there's other roles for them backstage, and a Noam Dar is there to help out your Jackson Drakes and whatever. But I'd also be like, man, I'm in my early 30s. Like, am I already at that role where I'm a player coach?
I guess, like, yeah, I wonder if they see, like, he lost here in his debut. He returned last week and then set up this match, and he loses. Again, I think it's helping having a match like this. Jackson Drake, it's great for this young, he's super young. He's like 22 or 23 or something like that. So it's like, wow. But what do you see with this guy? Are you going to use this guy? Is he ever going to be on the main roster? Should you just put him on there and try it? Should you pair him with someone again? Like, or should you just let him go? Like
he's a great personality, like good talker, great wrestler. But like, what is, and I just feel what are his aspirations? Like, maybe it is like, we're going to transition you into a bit of a coaching role, and you're going to be here to help the younger talent, and you're going to get a paycheck and it'll all be good. Because the longer these people are in WWE, the less exciting it is when they leave, in my opinion. Like, if Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne left 5 years ago, it would have been so exciting. Like, I don't care about seeing them in AEW. I don't really care about seeing them in the Indies or anything now, like, because we've seen so much of them. That's true. Yeah. But it's a shame because they're incredibly talented. Like, think of that Chicago match, and think of some of the stuff we've seen Noam Dar do before. Noam and A-Kid in UK and all that kind of stuff.
He fought a kid? Got him. Well, after the match, the Vanity Project are in the ring, but the lights go out. It's not Lince Dorado dressed as the Undertaker. It's Dark State. And when Dark State strike, ain't nobody safe. So I think everyone is safe.
Ain't nobody safe. Yeah, very true, because we're going to stand here for 5 minutes staring at each other while we go to commercials.
This feels like
old backstage segments.
Yeah,
like,
this is like old Raw, where they would do this to people. So Dark State interrupt them, but we got to go to break. So when we come back, they're still in the ring waiting, but we have to go backstage because Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights are there. And Miles says to Tavion, hey, I got a tag match next week where it's I'm going up against these people who keep attacking Tony, meaning Cam Hendricks and Mason Rook. And Tavion says, "Ooh, baby, all right, we're back together. Okay, let's do this." And Miles is like, "Ooh, actually, Mr. Stone didn't put you in the match with me. He put Tony in the match." And then Tavion kind of blows up here and gets angry and says, "Okay, I see how it is." So Tavion still has his sights. He's like, "You attacked Tony, so like, I don't really know about you," says Miles. So yeah, that's the match next week. Mason Rook's like actual in-ring debut is a tag match with Cam Hendricks taking on Tony D'Angelo and Miles Bourne. So both champions in action.
Tavion just being a whiny bitch right now, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe he interferes in this match. We shall see. It would be interesting if he was the one to take the title from Miles.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I can't say Heights excites me too much, but at least we're doing something different with this heel turn.
Yeah. Well, we go from that to the ring where Dark State have just been chilling. Eventually, they have the microphone. Vanity Project also are just waiting ringside to hear what Dark State have to say, I guess.
This was the most ridiculous. Okay, we have it sometimes, one person makes their entrance, we go to break, and then we have a little backstage locker room chat, and then we go back and the next person's making their entrance. And it's just been, someone's been waiting in the ring. Here it's a stare down. It's a confrontation. It's things are about to blow up, but it's like, wait a sec, Cricket Wireless. Have LA Knight sing to me about my taxes. Let's see Miles and Tavion sort out their beef.
Waiting forever.
This was just weird.
So Sugars is cutting a promo on Vanity Project, who just happened to just wait for this to be bitched out, I guess. Sugars calls Vanity Project the In-Betweeners. Friends.
Hey, friends.
If you don't get the reference, you should watch the show. And the new movie, maybe, possibly, hopefully. Looks like it's actually happening.
Yeah.
He says that you guys are tripping big shoes, bruh. He's talking reckless. He says you guys aren't going to be champions for much longer. When Ricky Smokes steps in, one of the tag team champions, he goes, "You guys are goofballs." And Brad Baylor says there's no shot that you guys are getting another chance at these, because do we have to remind you that we're the ones who took these from you in the first place, and we don't give out handouts for challengers. Cutler then on the microphone for Dark State says that, well, we are going to bring the titles home because Mr. Stone has signed off on the rematch officially, but when we get our rematch next week, it's not going to be Cutler and Osiris. It's not going to be me and Osiris. It's going to be Dion and Saquon, because you two have to sort it out. And if you two can sort your differences and win back the gold, then we deserve the gold. But if you can't, then maybe Dark State has to change. And this is when Vanity Project try to attack them, but they sidestep them and then send them packing, and Micah carries Jackson Drake out as they escape from Dark State. But yeah, what do we think about that?
I kind of like the other two members of Dark State being like, you guys need to hash it out, so the match is yours. That made some sense to me. The crowd were cheering for Dark State here. So are they starting to pivot babyface? Because this is essentially heels versus heels. I know we find Vanity Project more entertaining, but I think maybe they're trying to start pivoting Dark State to be more of a babyface group moving forward.
I think so too. And I like Vanity Project, and I kind of want them to just remain champions. And we could go to OTM for the program after this, but maybe this would be more interesting for Dark State if these two did win the tag titles, or maybe something happens and they don't win and then it blows up and we do have a member leaving or something. I'm not sure, but this was a better outing for Dark State. They seem better. Everyone got their shit in, talking wise here, but it still was a weird segment to have us go to break and then come back and everything. But I'm hoping that match next week is good. So next week, Dark State versus Vanity Project.
I mean, it's against the two better members of Dark State as well, and Vanity Project are great, so it could be a really fun match, actually.
We go backstage. Mr. Stone is with NARAKU, and he says, "I need to set up a meeting with you because we need to talk about your future." And then he goes, "Thank you, Mr. Stone." And I guess NARAKU is trying to get over his latest catchphrase, his new catchphrase here in WWE. He joined the Fed. So, here in NXT, kid, you got to learn where the hard cam is, and you got to come up with your wrestling WWE catchphrase. And I guess NARAKU's is, "Ha ha 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 ha." because he did it in his insert promo, and then he did it here. I'm like, great. So every week he's gonna laugh like this.
Man, it could be the next yeet. It could be the next yes chant. Like, this guy is gonna just take over the world with ha 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 ha.
Oh my god. Anyway,
he's evil, you know? Like, he's
no, he's Naraku. Yeah. Cam Hendrick interrupts here, and Mason Rook, and they're like, hey, what's next here? And I think he says that Cam Hendrick and Mason Rook are going to be in that tag match against Miles and Tony. But this is when Keanu Carver walks in. And is this Tate Wilder, who's then talking to Mr. Stone? And Keanu walks in, and he's kind of staring at Keanu, and he's like, what are you staring at? And Tate was saying, like, hey, I know I lost tonight, but I really want another match next week. So Mr. Stone makes the match Keanu Carver versus Tate Wilder next week on NXT, which sounds interesting. You know, both Tate just off one hot match today. I'm like, I am interested in seeing you wrestle more, but also Keanu on this bit of an uptick here. So
yeah, Tate's character is he's just like a really eager kid, and he's just gonna get himself like bite off more than he can chew every week, which is all right, and he'll probably get murdered by Keanu Carver.
So next week we have the tag match of Tony and Miles versus Rook and Hendricks, Tatum versus Lizzy Rain, Vanity Project, Dark State, and I'm sure maybe Naraku, and again, I'm not sure, but some other things will be announced. We see Callie Armstrong backstage with Blake Howard being interviewed, and she says that I'm trying to keep momentum here in NXT. I got to scope out the scene to see what my next move is. There's Tatum and there's Lola and all these chicks I'm trying to fight, she says. And I'm going to run through everyone just like I did in Evolve when Kendal walks by getting ready for her match. And she says, well, not everyone, because she was Evolve champion. So this is our main event. Kendal Gray comes out with Ren Sinclair on crutches to take on Kelani Jordan.
Yeah, and it was Kendal who vacated the title, right?
Right.
So Callie never beat her. But yeah, Callie Armstrong's still in this mix as well.
Yeah. So our main event, Kendal Gray versus Kelani Jordan, was definitely looking forward to this one. Some side chain wrestling early on where Kendal, obviously we know her wrestling background, but Kelani no slouch here. They were going kind of back and forth. There's a sweet looking fast drop kick and kip up from Kendal, which looked nice. And then there's a spot where Kelani sends Kendal to the outside and hits a springboard Asai moonsault. Tries to put Kendal back in the ring, but there's like a 619 kind of kick from Kendal on the apron, followed up by a crossbody to the floor, which looked pretty great. As we went into picture-in-picture, we go back in the ring. There's like forearms exchange and a double face buster. There's then these overhead suplexes and like side grapple, like Greco-Roman kind of like all these like side suplexes that Gray is hitting her with here. Very impressive. There's then a Rana from Kelani, and then Kelani hits this like double jump flying phenomenal forearm type move, and then a sit out power bomb, but Kendal kicks out. There's then an ankle lock from Kendal, and then stretches Kalani's leg like on the turnbuckle here. She's trying to get the rope, but she's like making her whole body do the splits. There's then snaps power slam as they remind us of Vic saying that she used this power slam to pin Kelani in the Deadline Iron Survivor match, but this time Kelani kicks out of it. We see then in like a corner of our screen Lola Vice watching the match, but as she is watching, Izzy Dame attacks her, and we come back to the match. There's a Spanish fly off the top from Kelani for a near fall, and then Lola and Izzy start fighting ringside. Oh, they're fighting around the world today. My favorite wrestling trope, where they just can't contain themselves and have to fight all the way through Gorilla, down the ramp, all the way towards the ring, even though there's a match going on. This is a huge distraction because this fighting and pull apart happens to take out Ren Sinclair, who's on crutches. She falls over here, which distracts her friend Kendal here, allowing Kelani to knock her down and hits the one-of-a-kind split-legged moonsault, and Kelani Jordan pins Kendal to win in the main event. And then after, Lola and Kendal are getting into it, and then Izzy attacks her again, and everyone is laid out as NXT goes off the air.
when I saw Ren with the crutches, I was really concerned that she was going to be turning on Kendal here. Whether that's going to come down the line, like heel Ren just doesn't feel right, but maybe if they want to, delay Kendall's eventual win.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like this match a lot. I think both are fantastic. Kendal Gray's so good, like at such a young age and so young to the business. Like she's so good already. And Kelani, like, has always impressed me. And I really want, big time Baxter in the chat saying Kelani needs an NXT title run to find her rhythm as a character. I think she should be the one to beat Lola. And I think Kendal should be chasing Kelani for that title. These two had really good chemistry. Both worked with like a nice urgency as well. Maybe it's because they didn't have, the last match on the show tends not to have that much time on NXT with the hard out of 10 o'clock. But I thought both, they'd hit a move and they'd be right on top of them with the next one. And some of those armbar transitions that Kendal had and everything, like I thought was really impressive. So women's division's looking good. Is he being involved? Not my favorite, but you need some other obstacles for these people to overcome. But I would say Lola, Kendal, and Kelani being the main three battling for this title, and I do see Kelani being the champion pretty soon.
I love Kendal Gray. I think Kelani has come such a long way too, and I love both of these. These are two of my favorites that we have in our women's division, and either of these two should be champion. And I like that Lola is champion. I don't want her to lose it right away. Like I want this reign to maybe be a bit stronger, a bit longer, but I do want Kelani to win. I want Kendal to win. I want all these different people to be champion, but I guess only so many cooks in the kitchen. But I love this match. Like this and the 6-man tag that we had earlier were my two favorite things on this show. And every time Kendal wrestles on Tuesdays, it's a treat. So she has become instantly like one of the best in full stop. Like WWE is like, they got a little ace up their sleeve with Kendal Gray here, and they could easily put her on the main roster and pull the trigger and have this great wrestler who's putting on, and Kelani is super impressive too. But yeah, this is great. Really good episode. Honestly, it felt like wrestling heavy, like between these two matches, the Noam Dar Jackson Drake match, like even the opening women's tag in the beginning, like there was some good, decent wrestling. And again, we're shuffling in a new deck of people pretty quickly. Like new people are already dancing with champions and titles and stuff like that. So it's already a new refreshing wave of things happening on the show, and it's what we've been asking for. Like sometimes when they do this, it's not necessarily, it's throwing shit at the wall and seeing what works, whereas this is maybe a bit more calculated of what they've been doing in the last few weeks. And that's just what I'm assuming, and it kind of shows because it seems like they have some things planned out.
I mean, I would say LFG and Evolve is working. Like right. I don't watch those shows, but I think whereas we had that, 2.0, which was all NIL PC recruits, like very little experience in wrestling outside of WWE, if any. You've got a good mix. Like I like seeing some people who don't have that experience and are learning, because look at a Kelani, look at a Sol Ruka. Like they were gymnasts who took to wrestling and really took to it and love it and are great. You've got others who don't work. You've got some great indie wrestlers who just don't have that star quality about them to be in WWE necessarily. But I think they've got a good balance, and doing the two different shows where you've got one which is maybe a bit more wrestling heavy, the other one like really trying to figure out who you are and how you'll work as a wrestler. It's working because you've got a nice melting pot on NXT now of different styles and different talents and abilities, and it's making it interesting for me. And I thought the wrestling was really strong on this episode. Like every match hit on this show tonight. And the main event and that 6-man was absolutely excellent, I thought. And I'm interested in a lot of the new characters as well, and doing some off-site stuff like the stuff we've seen with Emily Agard at a shitty barbecue or wherever. Like it freshens it up. So yeah, I think NXT's been on a nice little run the last few weeks.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like everything feels like fresh, and there's these new characters. Really interested in this Mason Rook, and I can't wait to see him actually wrestle like in a match. Like I think he's kind of overshadowed Evil coming into NXT for me. Like I know that he's wrestling different already in one night here, but it didn't necessarily blow me away or anything. But it's week 1 of him wrestling, and he never was my favorite wrestler to watch in the first place in New Japan. But we have this Mason Rook guy who right away I'm like, okay, I like let's see what this big boy can do. Moonsaults off the top. Okay, let's go. Flying tanks. I'm in for it. We needed a shakeup, and this seems like the right way to do it, as well as that the 6-man with all the young guys as well. So good stuff from NXT this week. We were both thumbs up, I think, for this episode. We have a feedback page. Follow Poisonrana Pod, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and find our Facebook group where we post fun things like memes and feedback threads like this. I see one piece someone has written in, and it's Megan, who says, "Let me get right down to brass tacks. Women's wrestling runs shit in NXT. Gray Jordan was a fire main event. There's still 2 months till the next pay-per-view, and it's matches like that'll make a weekly product worthwhile. Mason Rook had a strong first promo. NARAKU had a decent debut, and the 6-man tag over-delivered. The growing pains are still present, but it appears that NXT is in the right direction." Thank you, Megan. Totally agree with you on that one. There we go.
Awesome.
Let us know if you agree, disagree, comments on the YouTube page or in the Facebook group or on X, Instagram, whatever it is that you do. Check out all their other shows. Like I said, we did our Poisonrana Live from Sunday where we talked all about Backlash and the Fairway to Hell, plus everything else from AEW and the build to Double or Nothing. Plus, on our free feed, our Beyond the Mat review. I put that out for free, so go give us a follow. Subscribe to us on our YouTube or podcast app. Search Poisonrana Pod and Poisonrana.ca for links of everything else that we do. We will be live this Sunday, 2 p.m. over on our YouTube as we talk about tomorrow night's Dynamite and maybe some Raw, some SmackDown, and anything else that's going on in the world of pro wrestling. Oh, maybe even the Ronda fight, AAA
fight.
That's
Saturday night.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about this Sunday. So Sunday, 2 p.m. we'll go live with a Poisonrana Live as we talk about all of that. But you can follow us at Poisonrana Pod and myself at the Brady. And, of course, we'll be back here next Tuesday to talk about some more NXT. We got some title matches next week. Right? Mason Rook making his debut. Cam Hendricks. Oh, my God. Even bigger. Cam Hendricks making his debut. Holy shit. Appreciate all the postmarks out there and the friends. We can't do it without you. So thank you. Love you. Take care. Goodbye. And be safe.
Ahoy!